Okay, so same process. I am recording the class. At the end of the class, if you would like a copy of this email to you, I am happy to do so. Okay, so first things first, this is the Darcy marketing class. Now, the Darcy marketing class is called Darcy marketing because we're going to focus on, obviously, those two things. A lot of people, though, get confused, and they think that Darcy, because she has a very powerful automated marketing tool within her, that is what we're talking about. No, of course, we're going to address that, but the marketing aspect of this class is after we have addressed Darcy and the different jobs that she does, then we're going to talk about manual marketing. And that is another powerful and important feature of the software that's actually outside of Darcy, although, of course, Darcy still handles the emails for that because that's what she does. She handles all emails in the system. So how do we get started? First things first, we're going to treat Darcy like she's an employee. She's already part of your software. You get to use her. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the button farthest to the right in the Transcend toolbar that says Darcy. We'll click on that, and that brings up our Setup Darcy window. Now, the first thing we need to do is, quote unquote, hire Darcy. And in order to do that, we're going to press this button that says Set Up Account. This is how we hire Darcy. By clicking on Setup Account, it brings up this Setup Darcy Account Information window. And this is where, I know it looks a little bit confusing, but don't worry, I'm going to go through each one of the steps with you. It's really very simple. First, we're going to put in the name of our business. So, for instance, in your case, it may be Therapy with Billy or something like that. I forget exactly what the name of yours is, but I remember how much, oh, good. I was going to say I remember how much I liked it because it's such a unique name. But now I've got my business name here. We put in the actual business name, then the actual business address, city, state, and zip code, and telephone number. So pretty straightforward so far. The next thing, though, is the business website address. Make sure when you put in your website address, if you have one, certainly you can leave it blank if you don't, but if you have a website address, be sure that you include the www if that is required in your email. If not, then maybe just the http:// etc. Whatever it is, you need to be sure that that's included because this is going to turn itself into a link so that your customers will be able to be taken directly to your website if they click that link. Next is the business email address. Now this one I want you to understand. We know what an email address is, of course, but whatever you put here in this business email address, the way this one works is Darcy is going to be sending out emails or texts, etc. But let's say she's sending out emails. Any email that a customer of yours or an employee of yours responds to, if they reply to a Darcy email, it needs to go somewhere. And you don't want it going to Darcy. You want it going to you. And so whatever email address you put here is where Darcy is going to forward any email that is replied to her, okay? Okay. So again, you send out a confirmation, you send out whatever it is you send out. If they reply, it gets forwarded to this address. Next, we have the owner's email address and the owner's email address too. Now, if you have two owners, then great. You've got two different email addresses you can put here. If you've got a single owner, you can just leave it just one like I've done here. Or maybe you might even put in your home email address and your business email address. You could do that as well. But the reason that these are different than this one, and they don't have to be, they can be the same one, but the reason that they're normally different is because where it says owner's email address, there are certain things that Darcy believes is for the owner's eyes only, okay? And if it is for the owner's eyes only, then she is going to send it to whatever you've put in the owner's email address or owner's email address too. That is different than a response. So if somebody replies to an email, it goes to whatever you've put here, but if Darcy believes that there's something that only the owner should see, it goes to these addresses. And so that has nothing to do with replies. So you'll see what we're talking about when we get to notifications. Next, after that, we've got upload logo. Now, in our previous class, you may have noticed that a number of times I said when they receive this, it's got your logo on it, it's got your social networking icons on it. Well, it can't have that unless you have, in fact, put your logo here. So you press this button, and it'll bring up this window, which says maximum size of each file equals 500,000 bytes. That's 500K. So you can put in an image that is a GIF, a JPEG, a TXT, or a PNG. You can upload an image that is 500K or smaller that matches any one of these parameters for your logo. If you do not have a logo, or if your logo is too big or too small or whatever it is, maybe you don't like the shape of it, anything at all, ProSolutions Software has a graphic arts department at your disposal, and that is part of your monthly subscription. What that means is that you don't get charged. So if you would like the graphics department to help you with your logo or to resize it or to do anything at all, even to develop a logo for you, they can do that as well. All you need to do is contact them and they can help you with that. Once you have your logo in the system, you simply hit browse to anywhere on your computer. So you can choose anywhere at all on your computer that you've got your logo, and you can then upload it. And when you hit upload, it will show you that it has been uploaded, and then you can close. You have now uploaded your logo, and any email that Darcy sends out is going to include your logo on it. Okay? A good example of that, I'm going to go ahead and just very quickly bring up this one here that says, Happy Anniversary, Michelle. This is what a Darcy email might look like. So this is an anniversary email, and there's our logo. So you're going to upload your logo, and it's going to be there as well. Now remember, I also said that your social networking icons will appear. And here are my social networking icons: Google+, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, let me go ahead and just close that. Okay, so we've uploaded our logo. Next, we've got our optional text account. You do not have to use texting in Darcy. Everything she can do via text, she can do via email. However, if you would like to use texting, then you need to contact your salesperson and get a text account username and a text account password. Actually, I don't believe you contact your salesperson. I misspoke. You're going to send an email to rates, R-A-T-E-S, like credit card rates. You're going to send an email to rates@ProSolutionsSoftware.com and ask them for a text account username and password. Now, the reason that you just don't get it automatically is because all emails through this system are free. Whether you send out 5 emails or 55,000 emails, you're never going to be charged. And because Darcy is a certified marketing platform like Constant Contact or Go Loyal or Demand Force, etc., you won't get marked as a spammer by sending emails out through the system. Even if, as I said, you send out 500,000, it doesn't matter. You won't get charged, and you don't get marked as a spammer. Texting is a little bit different. Texting you get charged for, and therefore you've got to request it. And you'll be told, for instance, the first 1,000 texts is $30. Within the same month, if you need more than that, it's $20 for an additional 1,000 texts within the same month. Having said that, they don't roll over. So if you spend $30 for 1,000 texts and you only use 200 of them, well then next month you would have to spend $30 to get another 1,000 texts, because the 800 that you didn't use do not come over to the next month. So I need you to be aware of that. And that's another reason why we say, you know what, start with your emails first. And if you say, you know what, I want to go with texting, well, great. We're happy to help you with that. No problem at all. There are, by the way, ways for you to get free texting as well. If you are processing your credit cards through our preferred provider, you will get 1,000 free texts every month. Also, if you are in the cloud, then you get a certain number of free texts every month as well. I think it's 100 for a single operator version, and it goes up from there. But if you are an installed version of the software, and you are not processing credit cards through our preferred provider, you do purchase text. They do, after all, have a hard cost to us. Okay, next, on the right-hand side, we have this optional account information. This is your social networking: Google+, Yelp, CitySearch, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, we may be adding more in the future. In fact, I'm sure we will be. However, these are the ones that are currently the most common for small businesses. And so these are the ones that we have focused on at this time. What you want to do, remember I showed you that email that showed the social networking icons on the bottom? What you do is you go to your Google+ site and you copy the URL right from your Google+ site and you paste it right here. You go to your Yelp site, copy the URL and paste it here. As long as you have got a URL pasted within these fields, the icon will appear. If there is nothing here like Yelp and CitySearch, then you won't see it on the email either. But if you've got it like this, and to this one for Facebook, etc., it will appear. So copy the URL, paste it in. This is going to be now a shortcut that your clients will be able to click on to easily like your Facebook page or view your Facebook page or perhaps write a Yelp review about you, whatever it may be. All right, so you put in your URLs for these social networking sites. and then you can press Save. It says your settings have been saved. Okay, you're done. You have now hired Darcy. Notice I skipped the last three here, online gift cards, scheduling, and online retail. These we're going to be removing from this section altogether. You do not need them at all for Darcy. They have their own portion and their own class, and that's right here, this button that says online. That's another class entirely. So as far as Darcy is concerned, once you have put in your social networking's URLs and you have pressed save, you can exit. You have now hired Darcy. She's ready to go. Now that we've hired Darcy, we want her to work for us. So we press, if you are an installed version of the software, you press this button that says Run Darcy. By pressing that button, Darcy will get to work for you. Now, if you are using the cloud version of the software, this button will not be there because Darcy is running for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. The reason that the installed version has this button is because if you turn your computer off that Darcy's installed on, when you bring that computer back up, you need to remember to go back in here and run Darcy. Yeah. Whereas in the cloud, your computer can go on and off all you want to. Your computer could be in a terrible fire. The software is still available for you in the cloud. Darcy is always running 24/7, 365. So there is no Run Darcy button in the cloud. Just want you to be aware of that. Okay, so if you are installed, you've pressed Run Darcy. Now we're ready to talk about her 5 jobs. We've hired her. She is ready to work for us. Now we need to tell her what her job description is. Now, there are other things that she can do throughout the software as well, but she has 5 main jobs. And those 5 main jobs are appointment confirmations, marketing campaigns, notifications, suspicious activity notifications, as well as end of day notifications, and come again and buy again. So, job 1, confirmations. I'm going to click on my email confirmations. That brings up this appointment confirmations email window. I get to write whatever I want. So this is all completely up to you. You write whatever you want. Let's go back in there to see what I have. Okay. So this might say something like reminder for Billy. Hi, Billy. Remember that you have an appointment for a cut and color with Sally on April 1st at 11:30 a.m. Please arrive 15 minutes early to unwind before your treatment. Now that's what I've written. You can write anything you want. Notice, however, what are called variables, the things that are inside of the open caret. So I've got open caret, capital CF, closed caret. This is going to insert the client's first name. It's getting this information from the client file as well as the appointment book. So again, reminder for Sally, reminder for Jane, reminder for Billy. Hi, Billy, remember that, etc. So you've written what you want. Now, where am I getting these variables from so that I know what to use? This little information I here. If I click here, that's where they're listed, and that's the way you put them in. So for instance, for the client's first name, it's open caret, capital C, capital F, closed caret. But the time of the appointment is open caret, lowercase time, closed caret. Put them in precisely the way you see them if you want to use them. Okay. Now also note that when doing an email, you've got 100 characters for your subject and you've got 1,000 characters for your greeting. 1,000 characters is actually quite a bit. That's about 3 paragraphs worth of information. So you could even include something like your cancellation policy. Whereas a text reminder is only 140 characters total. So, and that includes the subject. So be very careful about that. Okay. So the email again. We've written what we want. When this email goes out, it has your logo on it. It has your social networking icons on it. It also has one more important thing, a big blue button that says click here to confirm your appointment. If your customer receives this email and they press that button, click here to confirm their appointment, it will in fact mark the appointment confirmed right on your appointment book. So it doesn't like just send you an email that says, hey, this person confirmed, and now you need to go into your appointment book and mark them confirmed, and so you're constantly checking your emails to see if anybody else confirmed. Absolutely not. If they press that button, it marks it confirmed on your appointment book, and if you check that information, it will show you that it was confirmed on this day at this time by the customer. Okay? Now, I've got my, how many of these messages do I want to go out? And I can send up to 4, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I've said I want to send out 2. And now that I've said how many I want to send out, watch what happens when I choose 1. Number of days in advance appears. If I choose 3, 3 times. If I choose 4, 4 times. And finally, let's go back to 2, 2 times. So number of days in advance, I've selected 2. I could choose from 0, the day of, to 7, a whole week before their appointment. But I've said 2 days before their appointment, I want them to get this message with that button to confirm. And 1 day before their appointment, I want them to get this message. So that's what you can do. Now, another thing that I want you to be aware of, let's pretend that you don't have software at all. You're in the Stone Age and you are still doing things on paper. It's just fine. If you called me, I was your client, and you called me 2 days before my appointment, and you said, "Hi, Matt, it's Billy, and I wanted to make sure that you were coming in day after tomorrow at 11 o'clock for your cut and color." And I'm like, "Oh, my God, yes, I can't wait. Can't wait. I'll see you then, Billy." And okay, so you got in touch with me, and I have confirmed. So you mark it confirmed on your paper book, no problem. The following day, you would not call me again because I have already confirmed. Darcy does the same thing. She will send this message out 2 days before. And if your customer confirms, she won't send this one out. However, if they ignore this for any reason, she will send this one out. So if you set up 4, the first one goes out maybe 5 days before, the second one goes out 3 days before, the next one goes out 2 days before, and the last one the day before. Well, if they confirmed on the one 5 days before, they won't get the other 3. But as long as they ignore, they'll keep getting them until they confirm. If they never confirm, hopefully they show up, but they won't be marked confirmed. Also, perhaps the day before, if they still haven't confirmed, you might decide, you know what, this person needs a phone call. Okay? All right, so I've set up my number of reminders and how many days in advance. And then once I'm satisfied with this, I check this box that says active, and I press accept. By doing that, Darcy is going to run every single day, and she's going to be looking at your appointment book every single day, and she is going to be determining which people need to receive an email or a text reminding them to confirm their appointment. Now, in the client files, pull up Miss Babcock here, you have this, confirm text and confirm email. If these are blue, then Darcy's going to do it. If they are gray, she is not. If both of these are gray, then this is a person you need to call. If this is blue, then Darcy is going to be sending an email to this person confirming their appointment with them. If this is blue, Darcy is going to send a text to them confirming their appointment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Gotcha.
Now, another part that we're going to be covering soon is the promos. I've got my text promos and my email promos. Once again, if you want your customer to receive an automated promotion from Darcy or a campaign from Darcy, this must be checked, or at least this one must be checked. But if they are both unchecked, then this customer has asked not to receive any of your campaigns. But I'm going to choose that one and save. All right, let's go back into Darcy here. And let's go back to our confirmations. Okay, so we've written what we want. We've said how many they're going to go out. We've said when they're going to go out. We've checked active. The customer receives the email 2 days before or 1 day before. They can confirm right through it. Terrific. There's also a report that you can run that will show you everybody that received a Darcy email and whether or not they even opened it. Now, the next thing is the campaigns. This is our automated marketing campaigns. I'm going to click on that, and when I do so, it opens up this window for me that says blast marketing messages, and I have over 20 different templates to choose from. These are my campaigns.
Okay.
Now, I've got campaigns for all of the major holidays. I've got Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and New Year's Day, Christmas, etc. I also have the ability to do promotions that are completely unique to me, that have, I get to choose the date, etc. But let's start with a common one, birthday. The customer, in order for the birthday one to work, you must have your customer's birthday. You don't have to have the year, by the way.
Okay.
But the month and the day you must have. So for instance, if I said, Ms. Babcock, can I have your birth date? She says, sure, it's November 1st. Well, that's all she needs to give you. You can put in 11/01, enter. It'll default to this year, and I can either remove the year altogether, so it'll look like that, and save, or I can leave it just as it is. And leave it, okay, I know she's not, pre-born, but the fact of the matter is, though, is that the year, as far as Darcy is concerned, does not matter because she is only looking at the month and day. So let's go back in here and let's go back to our birthday. So I said that her birthday is November 1st, and hopefully I am taking the birthdays of all of my customers. Now, once I have selected my template, I get to choose the number of campaigns to run. Just like with my confirmations, I can choose 1, 2, 3, or 4. I've chosen 4. Then I get to choose when these are going to go out, up to 30 days prior to the date. And so my options are 0 to 30 and everything in between. So I've said I want my first message to go out 30 days before my customer's birthday. My second message to go out 14 days before, my third message 7 days before, and my fourth message on the day of their birthday. Again, these are entirely up to you. You could even just do one if you wanted. Now, having said that, I've got my days in here. I've already selected when they're going to go out. Now I get to say what goes out. So I get to go to my first message. Click. So here's my birthday campaign message number 1, subject, and I get to use, once again, variables. Now, some of these variables are a little bit different than the ones you used for the appointment confirmation, and they're listed right here for you. These are the only variables you can use in the automated marketing. So, happy birthday, Billy. Happy birthday, Billy. It looks like you'll be celebrating your special day in about a month. Now, why did I write that? Because I know this one's going out 30 days before. So that's what I chose to write. You get to write whatever it is you want. Be sure to come before. If your birthday was November 1st, this would say November 1st for a birthday discount to look and feel, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when you have written your subject, you can then jump to your font and choose any font that you have installed on your computer. And after you've chosen your font, you can choose your font size. You can then choose whether or not this is bold or underlined or italicized or what color you're going to be writing in. And then finally, you could even insert URLs right into the body of your message. So these buttons here can be used while you're typing away. And then once the message is in, we get to choose our artwork. There are 8 pieces of artwork for you to choose from. You'll notice there are 9 radio buttons here where it says image to use. There are 9 radio buttons. If I choose the first one, that's what it looks like. I choose the second one, I can click here to see what it looks like, etc. Maybe choose the 7th one here. Take a look at that. Now, the point is that there are 8 different pieces of artwork for you to choose from. And if you don't like any of the pieces of artwork that we have pre-created for you, then you can upload your own custom image. And again, if it's an installed version, you can go with a GIF, a JPEG, a text, or a PNG. If it is a cloud version, you can only upload a JPEG. Again, it must be 500K or smaller. And once again, our graphic arts department is here to help you with that. Once you have uploaded your own custom image, the 9th radio button will be available to you, and it will show custom campaign. So instead of using one of our images, you will be using your own because you've uploaded it, and then you can save your template. Great. I'm done with my first message. I do the same thing for my second message. I can use a completely different piece of artwork and write a completely different message, but it's all done the same way. And I go all the way through until I am done with my 4th message. Once you have written a message, it is a very good idea to press this button, Send Test Email. Type in the email address of your own, your email address, and hit OK. What's going to happen then is you're going to get this message. Now, it won't know it's you, so it's going to use a fake name like Happy Birthday Jane or Happy Birthday John. But you're going to get this message sent to you, and you're going to be able to look at it and determine whether or not it looks good. And if it does, then go ahead and save your template and exit. If it doesn't, make whatever changes you need to make. Maybe your logo doesn't work well with the artwork you chose, or maybe you didn't put a URL in properly, or maybe when you read it over, you realize you misspelled something, whatever. Just make whatever changes you need to make and then save your template. But remember, do yourself that favor. Send that test email so you can see what your customers are going to see. There's nothing worse than sending out an email to your customers that doesn't look good. Right, because it just, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. It makes you look small time, etc. So it makes us look small time too. So be sure to send that out. All right, so we'll exit out of that. Now, once you have done that for however many messages you want to send, you're going to check this box that says active. If it's unchecked, whatever you've done here won't matter. Check that box that says active, save template, and exit. You're done with your birthday. Then you can go to set up another one, maybe for Christmas or Easter or Father's Day or something like that, whatever it is. What if, though, you want to do something in your town, in your neck of the woods? You've got, let's just say that in your town, August 15th is a big deal. Maybe there's some big festival that hits your town on August 15th, and it lasts a whole week. And a whole lot of people come into your town at that time that aren't normally there. And you know that that week is a big moneymaker for you, okay? So, okay, all right, let's go to Promotional. And now I get to put in my own date. Because understand, if you chose Valentine's Day, it knows it's February 14th. If you chose Mother's Day, there's an algorithm in the system that knows what day Mother's Day is every year based on what year you're in. So there's no need to put in dates, but Promotional allows you to put in your own date. Then you choose the number of campaigns, when they're going to go out. So if I put in August 15th 2 times, this is going to go out on August 8th, and this is going to go out on August 13th. And then my message, I write whatever it is I want, and I upload my custom image because there are no real images to choose from because it is a promotion. Make sense? So it's really just going to be your logo and your custom artwork for whatever it is that you have decided to do. There we go. All right. Once you have set it up and you've activated and saved your template, you're good to go. You don't have to think about it anymore. Darcy runs every single day, and she will check and see who needs to get emails for birthdays, for anniversaries, for Mother's Day, for Valentine's Day, for Black Friday, for Promotional, whatever. Now, you might say, okay, let me think here. What was I? I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I know. Okay, so all of those have dates associated with them, and they're all done a certain way, which is the messages go out prior to the date. But there are 3 of the automated campaigns in here that don't go out prior to the date. They go out after the date. And those 3 are Followup, Followup New, and Lost Client.
Okay.
So I'm going to click on Followup. These are the only 3 that are different, by the way. But I'm going to click on Followup, and notice there's no date. So what is the date that it's going after? It's the date of their last transaction with you. In other words, the last time they came in and saw you. So if I said, I want a follow-up message to go out one campaign, 1 day after your last transaction. So what is this really saying? Well, thank you for your visit. Essentially, what I'm doing by setting this up is everybody who saw me yesterday is going to get a thank you message. So thank you, Billy. Billy, thank you so much for visiting us yesterday. We hope everything went great for you and look forward to seeing you again. Please print this email out for 5% off your next visit. And you might say, if it's within the next 30 days or whatever. You write whatever you want. And you choose your artwork. And again, you choose from the 8 that we have provided for you. Or go ahead and simply upload your own custom image. Everything else works just like the others. Now, another one that's very different is the lost client. because this one doesn't go from 0 to 30 days. This one goes from 30 to 360 days. Again, this is from the date of last transaction. So I said, how many do I want to send out? 1, 2, 3, or 4? I said 4 again. And I've said that I want my first message to go out 3 months after their last transaction. Well, if that was their last transaction, that means they have not come back in 3 months to see me. So I might say something like, choose my artwork, and say something like, we miss you, Billy. Billy, it's been a long time since we've seen you. Please let us know what we can do to make your next visit memorable. And again, I write that, you write whatever you want. Everything else works the same. So I've said I want that first message to go out 90 days before. Now, what if you've got a customer that, you know, they don't have a lot of money, but they really like to splurge about 3 times a year. So they see you about once every 4 months, okay? But most of your customers definitely see you once every month, once every couple of weeks, whatever. So you say, you know what, 90 days is good for me. If they haven't seen me in 90 days, that's a problem. But there are those customers that see me every 4 months or so, and that's the way they do it, and you know, I'm going to work with them. If they have a future appointment booked with you, she won't send this message out, even if they haven't seen you in 90 days. If they've got a future appointment booked, she's not going to send out a message saying, hey, we miss you. You should know that they come in every 4 months. So you book those appointments, et cetera. And the fact of the matter is that you don't look foolish, because now there's a future appointment. Even if they haven't seen you in 3 months, she won't bother them with this message. And she certainly won't offer them a discount because, you know, why? They're coming in anyway. So again, if they have a future appointment booked with you, she won't send the message out. And then if they haven't seen you in 3 months, they don't have a future appointment booked with you, she sends it out, and if they ignore it, they don't come in, they don't book another appointment, whatever it may be, then in this case, I selected 120. So in other words, a month later, they're going to get the second message. Then I chose 150. Again, if it's fully ignored, then a month later, they're going to get my third message. Then I skipped a few months. So if they haven't been in 5 months, then I'm going to say, okay, after the 8th month, I'm going to send my last message. And if they still don't come in, well, then I would say that this person's actually lost. They are a lost client. But if at any time they come in, it will reset the clock again. They'd have to miss 90 days again before they got that message again. Make sense?
Great. Yes.
All right. Those are our automated marketing campaigns. The next thing we're going to talk about are the notifications. Notifications. Do you remember earlier when I said the owner emails, there are certain things that Darcy says should be for the owner's eyes only. Now, in your case, you're it. But someday you may not be it. Someday, you know, you may have 15 employees. And if you've got this box checked, for instance, when a cash payment is voided, guess what Darcy does? When one of your employees voids a cash payment, Darcy reaches out to you and she says, hey boss, it's Darcy. I wanted you to know that a cash payment was just voided on this day, at this time, by this employee, and on this transaction number. And then over here, when an operator's scheduled hours are changed, hey boss, it's Darcy. I wanted you to know that Sally just changed her hours, or Sally's hours have been changed. When payroll is processed, when a gift certificate is modified, when a price is modified at the point of sale. Most of these are what we call suspicious activities. That doesn't mean that your clients, your employees are doing anything they shouldn't be doing, but it does mean that it's something that you said, hey, you know what, if somebody does do this, I want to know about it. Because maybe there's a reason that, you know, you don't want them to do it, or you say, yeah, I'm going to give them the ability to do it, but I want to know if they do. Especially this one here, when a client file is printed, we've already had Darcy catch a thief. We had a customer contact us and let us know that Darcy contacted them and told them that at 2 o'clock in the morning, Sally had printed out a list of all of their clients' names, addresses, and emails and telephone numbers. Wow. Yeah. They were very pleased, by the way, that Darcy thought that, but they were very upset, obviously, about what had happened. Really? So you can also do things like this when you make over an amount in a day. So you can set an amount, and Darcy might contact you and say, hey, boss, it's Darcy. Just wanted you to know, good news, we just hit $2,500. So maybe maybe you set it for 11 a.m. Excuse me. Maybe you set it for $2,500, and at 11 a.m. she contacts you and says, "Hey, boss, guess what?" And you're like, "Well, that's great." Maybe though you usually do about $3,500 a day, and she contacts you at 4 to tell you that you just hit 2,500. Maybe that's not such good news. So whatever it may be, certain things like that. You also have this one. This is a really nice one, even for an individual operator. Email tomorrow's schedule to the operator. By having that checked, Darcy will email you your schedule every night for the following day. Hey, Billy, this is Darcy. This is your schedule for tomorrow. Every night she'll do that. Also the closing report. Again, because it's just you, this one's probably not a big deal because you're going to be doing the closing. But if you had an employee that closed and you had already left, then later that evening, Darcy sends you an email that says, "Hey, boss, it's Darcy. Here are tonight's closing numbers." So things like that. Again, most of these are going directly to the owner and no one else. There are a handful that don't. For instance, this one that says email client when booked, unbooked, or rescheduled. If you book, unbook, or reschedule an appointment, and this is checked, the client will be instantly notified that their appointment has been booked or unbooked or rescheduled. That's different than an appointment confirmation. For instance, let's say that they book it for 4 weeks from now. Well, when they book it, they get an instant email on that day that they booked it that says, "Hey, your appointment for April 23rd has been booked successfully." Then if you unbooked it, your appointment on April 23rd with Billy for a cut and color has just been unbooked. And maybe they called you and said, "Hey, I can't make it, and I don't know when I can, so please unbook it." They get that instant email. It shows that you're on the ball. But if they didn't call you and they get that email, they might call you then and say, "Hey, what's going on? Why did my appointment on the 23rd get unbooked?"
Yeah.
And then you say, "Wait a minute, yeah, why did you?" And so you go in there and you're like, "Oh, I didn't mean to unbook Crystal Smith. I meant to unbook Christine Smythe." And so you might catch a mistake there too. So things like that do happen. You certainly don't need to have that checked. Another one is the same thing. Now, again, this really would affect you more if you had employees. This one, email operator when booked, unbooked, or rescheduled. Again, it works the same way as this one. Whenever you book, unbook, or reschedule an appointment for your employee, they get instantly notified that a change has been made to their appointment book and the information accordingly. Okay? All right. Go ahead and save that. Those are the notifications. Now, there are 2 more jobs that Darcy does. That is the come again and the buy again. The come again focuses on the services that they get. So set up salon and spa services and choose one of my groups, like my hair group here. And let's go with something like something that should be repeated regularly. Let me see here. Do I have a, yeah, okay, so I've got my relaxer here. So I'm going to say, you know what, when somebody gets a relaxer, they should repeat that every 8 weeks, or those curls are going to come back, okay? So now I'm making that up, by the way. I'm not a hair artist. I have no idea if 8 weeks is a good time for a relaxer. You might say to me, "Wow, what kind of relaxer is he using?" But my point is I'm saying, right, exactly. I know what I'm good at, and it's not hair. Okay, so I've got my relaxer tee up here, and I've said that I'm going to pretend that it should be repeated every 8 weeks. So I'm going to go to Darcy here. And I'm going to put a check here that says, "Darcy, come again." And now I can choose from 1 to 52 weeks. I've chosen 10 weeks.
Okay.
And so what I've said then, I get to write my subject, whatever I want it to be. "Don't let your relaxed hair tighten up again." And the body of my message in my email. "We see that you are overdue for your relaxer touch-up. Don't go to the holiday parties with messed up hair." Okay, so I've written whatever message I want. If a customer comes in and gets a relaxer touch-up, and 10 whole weeks have gone by and they have not returned to get a relaxer touch-up, they'll get this email, a one-time email. So it's not abusive, it's just one time. Now, that's one way to do it. Now, remember I said it should be repeated every 8 weeks? So what I've done here is by putting it at 10 weeks, I'm saying, look, they kind of missed it at 8 weeks. So, I'm giving them an opportunity to call me and book it. before I send this email out. So that's why I've set it for 10 weeks. But I could also change it and do it something like this. Go to 6 weeks and write a subject that says maybe like, don't let your relaxed hair tighten up again. And then instead of saying you are overdue, just say that we see that you are due in the next couple of weeks for your relaxer touch-up. So then what happens is this: if somebody comes in and gets a relaxer touch-up and 6 weeks have gone by and they have not come back to get it again, and this is the important part, they don't have a future appointment. If they have a future appointment, she won't send out the email, whether this said 6 weeks or 10 weeks or what. So in other words, 6 whole weeks have gone by and they have not rescheduled to come in to get this again. That's why they get a message like this. Whereas with 10 weeks, they have missed their cycle, and so they get a different message. So it's totally up to you how you want that to work, whether you want it to go pre, so that if they don't have the appointment, it says, hey, don't forget to book your appointment, or they've missed the amount of time that you thought they should have come in, and they also don't have a future appointment, so that it can say, hey, your relaxer is probably relaxed, you know, and so come back in. All right, so that is the Darcy Come Again. Darcy also has another one called the Buy Again, and that works a little bit differently. It's very similar to the Come Again, but it focuses on inventory. In inventory, you've got a Buy Again button here. And if I click on it, I've got a subject, I've got a body, so it's an email. And once again, I get to choose from 1 to 52 weeks, just like I did with my Come Again. So let's take a look at a product I've already got it on. This is my Justin All-in-One shampoo. And I've said, let's just pretend that this is a 20-ounce bottle. And let's pretend that I've told my customers that they should use it, 2 ounces of it every other day. If that's actually the way I wanted it used, then in about 3 weeks, it should be empty. If they're actually using 2 ounces of it every other day, and it's a 20-ounce bottle. So I choose 5 weeks maybe, because I just want to give them an opportunity to come in. I'm not that guy that honks the horn the second the light turns green. So I put that 5 weeks there, and then my subject that I write, your Justin All-in-One shampoo is running low, and my body. If you've been using the shampoo like I told you, then you should notice that you're either out or running low. Please print this email out and bring it in with you for 5% off your next purchase within 30 days. Again, this is whatever you want to write. You certainly don't have to offer a discount, and it's going to have your logo on it. It's going to have your social networking icons on it, so it's a good-looking email. And if a customer walked through your door and they bought your Justin All-in-One shampoo 20-ounce, and they did not come back within 5 whole weeks to buy it again, they'll get this email. Obviously, if they did come in, it will reset the clock. Also, however, if they buy something in the same category, it will reset the clock. That way, again, you don't look foolish. What if you've got Justin All-in-One 20-ounce and a Justin All-in-One 8-ounce, and they bought the 8-ounce, and you had it set for 2 weeks, and they liked it so much that a week later, they came in and bought the 20-ounce. Well, you don't want this a week later to go out saying, hey, your 8 ounces empty. Well, they just bought a 20-ounce last week. So again, it will reset the clock, and that product will be assigned to whatever you put here. Now, you do not have to put this on every one of your products. Some of our customers only put it on slow-moving products because they figure, hey, the other stuff sells, so I don't need to bother. Other people put it on everything. But I want you to be aware that according to the consultants that helped us design the Buy Again feature, they say that on average, this results in about an 8% increase in retail sales. Right. Going back to the service Come Again, that results in about a 7% increase in client retention and service sales on average. Okay? Now, it doesn't cost you anything to do, and you can sell a little bit more product, sell a few more services, get a few more customers to come in that might not have already come in anyway, and so you're making a little bit more money, and it doesn't cost you anything but the time it takes you to set it up. Okay? Great. Those are the 5 jobs that Darcy has. But now that we have hired her, we've put her to work, we've given her job descriptions, we now need to tell her when to do her job. And so we've got 4 checkboxes here. And I've got my confirmations and campaigns. If I check that, she's going to run confirmations and campaigns every day. If I check this, she's going to run my end-of-day functions every day. check this, my come again, and my buy again. Then I get to say what time she's going to be doing these things. And my options are from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and everything in between. I've said my confirmations and campaigns are going to go out at 9:30 in the morning, if there are any to go out. Some days she won't send any out. Some days she might send out 3 or 4. Some days she might send out 30 or 40 or 300 or 400. Mm-hmm. And then my end of day functions. This is like your closing report or your schedule for the following day, things like that, end of day functions. My come again and my buy again, we generally recommend that you set them at the same time that you set your confirmations and campaigns for. You don't have to. Anytime from 7 to 10 is up to you. But by doing our confirmations and campaigns at the same time, we know that they're all going out together. It's just a nice and easy way to know, hey, Darcy did her job this morning. Now, something to know about an installed versus a cloud version. If you're in the cloud, choose any time you want. I don't care, from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. However, if you are an installed version, we recommend that your times be set for a minimum of a half hour after you open. So if you normally open at 9, then Darcy should be set to run at 9:30. If you open at 10, she should be set to run at 10:30 or 11 or 12 or whatever, but at least a half hour later. Why? Because let's say that you had a terrific storm the night before and you walked through your door in the morning and your computers are out because your power went down last night. Well, your power's back up and you're ready to do business, but your power went down last night and your computer's off. Well, if you had set her to run at 8:30 in the morning and you don't even walk through the door till 9, Darcy couldn't do her job that day because the computer's down. Now, if you're in the cloud, that doesn't affect you in any way. But if with the installed version, that is something you need to consider. So by having her set to run at least a half hour after you come in, then when you walk through the door, you know in a half hour, Darcy's going to do her job. Or if you see, ooh, we had that storm last night, my computers are off, turn them on, launch Darcy again. You've got the time so that she doesn't miss out on doing her job that day. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right. Same thing with the end of day functions. Darcy cannot email you the closing report if you haven't closed. Darcy doesn't want to send out a schedule for tomorrow if you're still taking appointments. So the time that you turn out the lights, close the door, and get out to your car, a half hour after that is when you should have Darcy send out her end of day functions if you're going to use them at all. Now remember, in the installed version, not the cloud now, but in the installed version, the computer must be on and Darcy must be running in order for these things to work. So you cannot turn off your computer at night and go home and expect Darcy to do her job that night. Make sense?
Gotcha. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Again, doesn't matter with the cloud. Turn off all your computers. Who cares? Because she's running outside of your business anyway. All right. So we have set up 5 jobs for Darcy. We have told her what jobs to do and when to do them. We're done. We can now press accept and exit. Any questions on Darcy before we get into manual marketing?
Go
ahead.
I'm trying to remember which one I was just thinking about. The come again email. Can the time be adjusted like from the client side? So I have some clients that I need to see every 6 weeks and some that need to come every 12 weeks for different reasons.
No, unfortunately, but what you might want to do is create, you could have 2 different services. For instance, you could have, let's just say, a relaxer 6-week and a relaxer 12-week. So certain clients, you sell the relaxer 6-week to, and other clients you sell the relaxer 12-week to, and of course they have different emails associated with them. But unfortunately not. There's no way to have it set different dates for the same service. That's not a possibility.
Okay,
but
great.
That's kind of a little bit of a workaround, but it should work for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me.
That's it.
All right. Now, that is the Darcy system. Now let's talk a little bit about manual marketing. The first thing that I want you to be aware of with manual marketing is that you get to create customized tracking items. And when I say customized tracking items, they really can be anything. So if you say, you know what, it's important to me to be able to market according to hair color. So I want to be able to differentiate between my redheads and my blondes and my brunettes and my auburns and my silver foxes, etc. Maybe you say, you know what, I want to be able to market according to hair type. So I've got thick and thin and kinky and whatever it may be. So horse's hair. Like my wife, she's got like a horse's tail of hair. She's Arabic and it's just thick and black and and there are different types of hair and they do very different things. So maybe you say, you know what, I need to be able to market according to that. Maybe you do skincare. I need to be able to market according to what type of skin they have. Whatever it is, you really can get crazy with it. Now, you can even start thinking outside the box, and you might say, you know what, I want to market to everybody who rides a motorcycle because they need their hair done differently than other people do. They wear helmets, or their hair is in the wind, whatever. You can get crazy with it. It's completely customizable. So how is that done? Now, I've already set mine up, but let's take a look anyway. We're going to go to Setup, Configuration, Tracking. Setup, Configuration, Tracking, Add Tracking Names. Now, when you get this, these are all blank white squares, or rectangles, I guess as it is. And you write what you want in here. So I type in the word color. Then I go to my tracking items, bring my mouse over here, and I type blonde, and I hit enter. I type red, and I hit enter. I type auburn, and enter. And by doing that, they will then become tracking items to choose from. Hair length, I wrote. Enter, go over here, type long, enter, medium, enter, short, enter, etc. So I create these. Motorcycle, yes and no, whatever it is. I get to make it whatever I want. Notice this one down here, farmer's market. Why do I have that? One of my customers actually said to me, you know, we have a farmer's market right next to us that opens every Tuesday, and they get a lot of business, and we would love to be able to market to the people that go to the farmer's market. And I said, oh, okay, well, how do you do it? Well, every time somebody walks through your door, one of the questions can be, hey, do you go to the farmer's market? Oh, yeah, of course, every Tuesday it's fantastic, and it's, right down the street here. Okay, great. So by doing something like that and having a simple, now you see I've used this for a million different things, but if all I had to hear was a yes and a no, I wouldn't have to choose no. I could just leave it blank. But if I chose yes, then I could actually say, I want a list of all of my customers that go to the farmer's market because the farmer's market is tomorrow and I want to send them out a blast. So you really can get crazy. So now in the client file, let's go to Ms. Babcock again, I've got my tracking button here. And I can say what color hair she has and how long her hair is and whether or not she gets perms and what type of skin she has and whether or not she rides a motorcycle and her nationality, whether or not she has tattoos. In other words, it doesn't matter what I want to market by. So now I get to say in my mind, okay, I'm Billy, and Billy says, I have way too much of this red, I don't know, let's say, red dye number 2, and I need to get rid of it. They screwed up the order, but they told me I could keep it because they screwed it up. So now I've got 20 bottles of this stuff, and I use 1 bottle a year. So I'm going to go to reports, and I'm going to go to marketing, and I'm going to go to create a list. And I'm going to say, I want all of my females who have red hair, and that's enough. And then come down here and say red females and hit create list. And it will go through all, in this case, 22,000 of my customers, 22,248 of them, and 6 of them qualified. Now, of course, this is sample data, so these are my 6 redheads, but maybe 60 qualified, maybe 600 qualified, maybe 6,000, I don't know. But now that I've made my list, I can go to blast, and I can choose a list, like, for instance, red females. And what do I want to do? I want to blast them a text message, or I want to blast them an email. Now, if I choose email, for instance, I can use any one of the emails that I've created for my redheads. But wait a minute, what if I haven't created one for my redheads? No big deal. Go to setup right here. And this is where you make it. And this is going to be my template. I get to call it whatever I want. I'm going to call this Billy's Red Ladies. And then my subject line. And it's going to say, hey, open caret, capital CF, closed caret, you gorgeous redhead you, exclamation point. What am I doing here? I am targeting them. So this says, hey, Sally, you gorgeous redhead you. This doesn't feel like spam. It's coming from the guy that does my hair, and he's using my name, and he knows I'm a redhead.
Yeah.
Choose my font. Choose my font size. Georgia's a terrible font to use. And then my body. And maybe I want to bold it. Maybe I want to make it red. So I'll go with something like that. And then say, we, and open caret, let's try that again, open caret, CF, closed caret, comma, Sally, I just got a shipment of the best red you've ever seen, exclamation point. And I want to do your hair this week or this month or whatever, and I'm going to do it for 20% off. Call me today to schedule and save my template. So you write whatever you want and exit. So now I can go to my emails and I can find Billy's Red Ladies. And maybe there's 60 people on it. Maybe there's 600. Maybe there's only 6 like this one has. I hit test email, write in my email address, hit OK, and I get to see what they're about to see. And, yep, that looks good. So I hit process, and everybody on that list gets that message.
Great.
And cancel. And that is manual marketing. And by the way, manual marketing can really be used for more than just promotions and things like that. What if I said, hey, you know what, I want my customers to review me. I don't know if you know this, but if you say to your customers, hey, do me a favor, go to Yelp and write a review for me, and I'll give you a free haircut, okay? Well, that's a horrible idea, horrible idea. And let me tell you why. Companies like Yelp, for instance, and Yelp is the example I'm going to use, if they find out that you are purchasing, and that's what they consider that, purchasing positive reviews, they put a banner on your site that actually says it has come to Yelp's attention that this business has purchased positive reviews. Oh my God, can you imagine how bad that makes you look? Even if every review was good, even if every single review was actually legitimate, they're all worthless now. And when you consider the fact that recent studies show that 40% of millennials check out reviews on sites like Google Plus or Yelp before they visit a business for the first time, a service business for the first time, that's real money lost. That is real money that is not walking through your door because they saw a banner like that. Or they went to your Yelp page and there were no reviews, or they went to your Yelp page and there were 3 negative reviews and 1 positive review. These are all reasons why people aren't going to walk through your door. So what I say is this. I say, okay, I'm Billy, and I just found out I've got a Yelp page. I didn't even know I had one, but one of my former customers created a Yelp page because they wanted to write a review about me. And by the way, did you know that most people that write reviews that are motivated to write a review are motivated by a bad experience?
Yes.
Yeah, that's an awful thing, but it's true. And so if you might say, I don't have a Yelp page, well, maybe you do and you don't know about it because they can create one, by the way, for you. You can claim it. If it's your business, you can say, hey, this is mine, and then you can, start controlling it after that. But you're not allowed to. The nice thing about Yelp, and the reason that people like Yelp and trust it so much, is because people can say nasty things about you on it. It's not a moderated site where you can only allow positive reviews to be posted like moderated sites do, which is why moderated sites are worthless. But a site like Yelp or Google Plus, which allows people to write nasty things about you, if you've got a lot of positive things said about you and very few or no nasty things, that's going to drive people through your door, especially millennials. So how do we do that without offering something to get, I just found out I've got a Yelp page and there's only 3 reviews on it and 2 of them are negative. I need to overwhelm those negative responses with positive responses. So what I do is this. any visit from, let's say, we'll say March 1st of 2016 to today. So I put in a little over a whole year, and then I say my number of visits, and maybe I say 7. And then I give it a name like reviews. And then I hit my create a list. What this is going to do is find every one of my customers that has visited me a minimum of 7 times in the last 12 months. That means they keep coming back, and maybe it's maybe they come every month, so maybe the number is 12. But that's fine. If you've got that 7 in there or 6 in there, a person who's seen you 12 times is going to be on the list too, because this is a minimum number. So I'm going to get a list of everybody who has seen me at least once every 2 months, if not more. And what are the chances that they have something good to say about me? Probably pretty high. So when I create this list, I don't know how many people are going to be on it, 20 people, 200 people, 2,000 people, depending on the size of your client base, who knows? But those people probably have something really nice to say about you. So you create a list like that, call it reviews, and then you write your message and blast it out to them. And that message might say something like, hey, this is Billy. I love having you as a regular customer. I think you're terrific. I hope you think I'm terrific too. Would you mind clicking my Facebook link below and liking my page, or even more important, clicking the Yelp link below and write a review about me, or maybe the Google Plus below and write a review about me, or all of them if you wouldn't mind. But you say something like that. These people like you. They know you. They keep coming to see you, and you've made it easy for them because those social networking icons are already on the bottom. Right there. The chances that you're going to get some reviews from these people is pretty high. Now, still, most people disregard these things. If it goes out to 200 people, you're going to probably get, maybe 15 reviews, but still you've got 15 positive reviews. If it only goes out to 25 people, maybe you get 2 or 3 positive reviews, but that's 2 or 3 more than you had before. And then you never know, you might strike gold. You send it out to, 50 people and you get 30 positive reviews. But the fact of the matter is that by having positive reviews overwhelm your negative reviews, and by responding to negative reviews in a constructive way, instead of getting into a flame war with that jerk that came in to see you last week, you simply say, I'm so sorry that your experience wasn't everything you hoped it would be. These are the changes we've made, so we hope you come in and try us again. You're not really talking to them. You're talking to people who read their negative review, and now those people are seeing that you have addressed those concerns, so they don't have to have those concerns, and they can feel better about coming in to see you. And then, of course, that's associated with all of the other positive reviews, and now those millennials are walking through your door. So marketing doesn't always have to be, I'm offering a discount, or I'm doing this, or no, instead, it can be something like what I just showed you here. And finally, marketing can also be used, importantly, for something like gap filling. Gap filling would be something like, your 3 o'clock just canceled on you, Billy, and it's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And you're like, son of a gun, it's 1 o'clock and my 3 o'clock canceled. I don't get walk-ins. People call me to book appointments for tomorrow or next week, or I'm not going to fill that time now. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, what do I do if I'm Billy? I go to reports, I go to marketing, I go to create a list, and I say, I want a list. Now, of course, it's just me, so I don't need, normally I would go here and say, I want a list of all of Christian's customers. But instead, because it's just me, I can say, I want a list of all of my clients. And then, after I've created a list of all of my clients, so let's go with my all clients list here that I made. Then I'm going to blast a message out, maybe an email out. And I'm going to write a message that says, hey, my 3 o'clock just canceled. The first person to call to fill that time will get 20% off. And then boom, off it goes. And hopefully, maybe it goes out to 300 people, and maybe 2 or 3 of them actually call you because it's already 1 o'clock. What are the chances that they, it's not like you're going to get 300 phone calls. But the first person calls and says, hey, Billy, I got your email. I'd love that 3 o'clock time. I was thinking of coming in tomorrow or the next day, and I'd love to save 20%. And you say, okay, great. So now you filled it. Phone rings again. I'm sorry, that's already been taken, but as long as I got you on the phone, let me book an appointment for you tomorrow or the next day. So you see, now you're using it not just to fill a gap, but also perhaps to get some people to call in that might have wanted to take advantage of that, couldn't, but now you can maybe book them for another time. Yeah. Without a discount, of course.
Right.
So yeah. All right. Well, Billy, that's the class. Do you have any questions for me at all?
None that drop in my head right this second.
Would you like me to send you an email with a link to this video?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Billy, you have a great day.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.